They don't deserve to be. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Express on Optimus Fantasy. I'm Nate Polvogt, joined by Lou Brunson, as I have been for the last, 5-6 weeks. You jumped in here and
something like that,
yeah, and we're having a blast with it.
Oh yeah, it's good times, man. Good times.
Yeah,
Always
it'd be
love
more
talking
good. Yeah, Albert Merriquin dropped in to say hello. Albert, good to see you, my friend. This would be a much better day if the Broncos had played better, but they didn't. It'd also be a much better day if, I don't know, Jamison Williams could have done something, Emeka Puka could have done something.
If Quinshon Judkins didn't get hurt, I mean, man.
I know.
What?
Different day for. Oh, yeah, and we've seen these injuries like this before in a running back. He's not going to come back the same guy. Maybe he will. He's young. He's a rookie. But that's a tough injury, that dislocation plus the fracture. Not fun.
It's not, and like this is gonna be a real test for him. You know, I don't know that he's had a test like this before in his career, and we see some guys come back and it makes them, I don't want to say better because it's not better, but they're able to get through it and everything like that and be okay. And we've seen other guys where it just derails their entire career, and we just hope it's not the latter for him because he's been one of the few things that's actually been enjoyable to watch about Cleveland this year.
Let's go ahead and talk about this thing. This is the first game that we were going to talk about, the Bills and the Browns. The Bills ultimately winning this one. They finished the game 23-20. But Shedeur Sanders, he didn't look great. He didn't look good. But did he look serviceable to you at least? Kind of?
No.
The shadow of a guy who could turn into a good backup level quarterback in the NFL.
Okay, I mean, if that's your bar, sure. I mean, could he be a guy that goes out and finishes out a game for you? Yeah, absolutely. But don't ask me if I think he could be a good quarterback. I don't mean to come across that aggressive. Do I think he could be a good quarterback in the NFL? No. Like Buffalo they can't tackle. We've known this all year. He makes his living on screens, which, don't get me wrong, Cleveland is designing screens very, very well. But that's because that's kind of all that Shedeur can do. So, don't get out over your skis, especially if you're a dynasty player. Don't get out over your skis with Shedeur thinking that, he's going to be good down the line. He's not. They're going to replace him as soon as they feasibly can. And, he's doing okay right now because he's playing some bad defenses and bad teams. It happens.
Yeah. Harold Fannin, though.
Stop giving it to him.
I mean, what? I'm not kidding. I bumped him up to tight end 4 in my dynasty rankings today.
Okay.
I honest to God, I've got him behind Bowers, Warren, and McBride. And I could make a case, depending on who the quarterback is in Indy next year, I might downgrade Warren to 4. We'll have to see what happens this offseason. But look at what this kid's doing. This is unreal. The last 2 games, that's 3 games. He has 30 targets, 19 catches, 3 touchdowns, 100-yard game in week 14 against Tennessee. He had 114 yards. Now, part of this is absolutely a symptom of this offense. There's nowhere else to throw the ball, really.
Right.
But also, there are other players on teams with similar situations who aren't producing like Harold Fannin is.
Yeah. And I mean, the ways in that they are using him, and granted, if there's a new coaching staff next year, everything like that, we might not see the same level of creativity and trying to get the ball to Fannin. New guys mean new ideas and all that. So there's always that risk and that danger, right? And you have to think that any new coaching staff coming in is going to be looking at a guy like Fannin going, okay, this needs to be like this, and assuming Judkins is okay, these are the centerpieces of our offense. Everything else we do centers around the ball finding these guys. Because Fannin's not just out here doing it any one way. It's not just that he's winning on routes. It's that he's plowing through people. It's that he's able to get the ball in a variety of ways. He got a rushing touchdown today on literally like a fullback belly dive play at the goal line.
Yeah.
Like, how many tight ends are running that in the NFL? None. Absolutely none.
Nobody.
He's really fun to watch and root for, and that's part of what makes this game so fun, is being able to root for fun players.
Well, yeah, and that's why I liked Fannin to begin with. I liked him before the draft, even before he went to Cleveland. I kind of got a little bit down on him when he went to Cleveland, but then, like, I don't know, there was at some point during the offseason just looking at what the team was and realizing, like, they don't really have anybody else. Like, why not? Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Why not him? And I think Kevin Tompkins said it in some of our preseason shorts about some of these rookies, where why not Harold Fannin? There's nothing else going on in this offense. He plays a different role than David Njoku. For the fantasy playoffs, for the fantasy championship next week, I think you have to start Harold Fannin. They're up against Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think you could keep him out of my lineup if I'm playing in the championship week. Like, even if I have both McBride and Bowers, I think I'm still finding a way to get Fannin into my lineup over one of those two. I don't know which. I haven't looked at the matchups yet. But I'm probably playing him over one of those two next week. And that's where Fannin is right now.
That's legitimate. That's very legitimate. James Cook, man, what a freaking day. 16 carries for 117 yards, 2 touchdowns. Big time. Hurt me a bunch. He's a top 5 running back rest of the season. I mean, we're talking about one more week here, but I think he's a top 5 running back next week, because we can't rely on any of these Bills wide receivers. Not even the tight ends at this point now.
No, and I mean, they're playing the Eagles next week, which is not the juicy matchup that Cleveland is in the running game. The Eagles are supposed to have Jalen Carter, I think it is. They're supposed to have him back next week. At least as of right now, that's what they're expecting, which obviously things can change.
Right.
So not exactly the juicy matchup that this week was. Cleveland's rush defense has been very, very bad since about week 9. But I mean, you're not benching him for the championships either. Like, he's the straw that stirs the Buffalo's offense drink. And I mean, if you're starting, I mean, Dalton Kincaid, I don't know what that was today. I think I saw him on the field once. It's just an absolute bummer of a game from him. And I mean, we got to see Dawson Knox dropping balls in the end zone, which that was fun. That was a good time. You know, definitely didn't make me wonder why we're bothering to play Dawson Knox at all. But that's, my Bills homerism at work.
Well, the Bills barely threw the ball today. I mean, Allen had 19 attempts. He only had 130 yards. He didn't have a single touchdown. They just didn't do anything in the air today, but that's what this team has been. The ball's spread out. Allen keeps getting under 250 passing yards. They're running the ball a lot. I'd expected to see Allen on the ground more. They didn't need to against Cleveland today. That's probably what a lot of this was on the receiver side, on the tight end side. Like, you just didn't need to use them. This is a playoff-bound team. Save your legs. Speaking of playoff-bound teams, Lou, is Bryce Young good?
I feel like this is the forever question for us, right? Like, he is Schrodinger's Bryce Young. He's both good and not good at the same time. And I think he's just going to kind of live in that realm. Like, Nate, obviously, we're both old enough. We've been playing long enough. Eli Manning, we were asking ourselves the question for years. Is he good? Is he a good fantasy quarterback? I don't know. And I think that's kind of where we're probably going to live with Bryce Young for a while. I think there's going to be certain times, certain games where he gets into his best game, where he's kind of dancing around back there. That one touchdown that he had today where he evaded like 3 rushers and just calm as you could be, just flips it into the end zone to a wide open dude. He can make plays like that, but not against everybody. So he's at least intriguing enough that I think he's going to live in that decent enough QB2 range. And he's good enough that, I mean, they're probably going to make the playoffs. And, I mean, who knows? We saw them beat the Rams for no good reason. Maybe they'll make some noise.
I think teams sleep on them. That's the only thing I can think of, because Tampa Bay realistically should have won that game today. They had Bucky Irving rolling. They were getting the ball to Rachaad White. They looked like they should have won that game. There's little stuff. And the Carolina defense has gotten a lot better too, which I think is helping Bryce Young, right?
Absolutely.
You don't have so much falling on your back where you have to score 40 points to win because your defense can't stop anybody.
Right.
Tet McMillan, man, he had a day too. There were some questions
Good for
about
him.
him. Yep, he had the break day earlier in the week. Everybody kind of freaked out because he didn't practice. It turns out it was literally just the coaches saw him come into practice on Tuesday. He looked exhausted. They gave him the day off on Wednesday. Apparently, it recharged him. He's a start for me. I think moving forward and into next year, like if you're in a keeper league, I'm holding Tet McMillan.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of got to, right? Especially
Yeah.
with, I mean, the wide receivers in this upcoming class, the rookies, they're not great. They look pretty okay, but not great. I think you really got to be, if you're not holding McMillan, it's because someone's willing to pay you way too much for him, and those are valid sorts of deals to make,
Yep.
especially if you're trying to rebuild a bad squad. But yeah, I mean, there's enough. I saw someone post today, like if you squint, you can see McMillan and Jalen Coker kind of being a really good wide receiver duo for this Panthers team for a number of years. And like they're not there yet, but you can see it being pretty okay.
And I can see Xavier Legette being a decent wide receiver 3. If you're not asking the guy to do a ton, he reminds me of like a slightly less talented Tim Patrick, right? Not quite as good at hands, but he's getting better. And Bryce Young seems to rely on him. Some guy, I can see Legette, not ideal, but I could see in a world where those two become the marquee guys, and for another season or two, they keep Legette because he's cheap.
Sure, like for the purposes of his rookie deal, that sort of thing. Yeah, no, it wouldn't shock me. I do think if they're going to be their best offense and best self, he needs to be their wide receiver 4 or 5, not their wide receiver 3. But that's a them problem, not an us problem.
Yeah. Is Devon Achane the RB1 the rest of the way, because Miami literally cannot do anything else on offense, especially with Quinn Ewers?
I mean, look, he was my RB2 to open the season. Like my preseason rankings, you go back, I had him at RB2. I think I'm the only person out there who did, and so I am riding that because I got so much else wrong, man. Yeah, I believe it. I mean, Miami's got nothing else going on. Quinn Ewers is terrible. Which the fact that Mike McDaniel's out here saying that he gives us the best chance to win, just stop with the coach speak. It's terrible. But HN, yeah, absolutely. Like he is the guy for the Dolphins and is going to be. I don't see any world in which he gets fewer than 20 to 25 opportunities every single game next week.
Yep. I just want to go to this real quick. Pat Bryant of the Denver Broncos was just carted off. Oof. It didn't look good. I peeked over real quick. It looked like he was strapped to a board. So thoughts for Pat Bryant. You never want to see that stuff. Denver's going to lose this game. It's 34-20 with 31 seconds. So a seemingly needless injury at this point for Denver. You hate to see it. You also hate to see Kansas City. Gardner Minshew tears his ACL today. Okay. We end up, I don't even know that guy's name that started. I can't remember it. I've got to get to the box score, but to the point where he was the only other quarterback on their roster now.
Chris Olakewandune or something?
Yeah. These Kansas City assets for the fantasy championship, they lost to Tennessee. They lost 26-9 to Tennessee.
Travis Kelce had 1 reception for 6 yards.
Oh, I'm aware. Painfully aware.
Right. Oh, yeah. And I just mean, like, if Travis Kelce's not viable as a Kansas City weapon, nobody is. Absolutely nobody is.
Their leading receiver, Isaiah Pacheco, had 7 targets. He had 6 catches for 41 yards. That's how bad it is in Kansas City. These guys, if you make it to the fantasy championship, in spite of having any of these players rostered, congratulations. Do not start them next week. take scraps off the waiver wire at this point. What about if Rashee Rice comes back next week? Would you start him?
No.
No, I don't think I would either.
No, I mean, it's
you
like,
can't.
I think you can, in the respect that once you get low enough, it's all these guys are the same. And I think that he is just one of those guys in that list, right? So it's like, you can start him, but you can't expect more than that level of production from him either.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a mess. It's a bummer, too, because these Kansas City players were so heavily invested in him, coming off of a Super Bowl appearance, seemingly the best offense in the AFC. It turned out that none of that was true. All right. JJ McCarthy, let's talk about some injuries here. JJ McCarthy hurt his hand. I haven't seen an update. I was just peeping through the Optimus news account, which y'all should be following, and you can be just as up to date as we are on all this stuff at news.optimusfantasy.com on Blue Sky. Make sure you check it out. Run by the wonderful Carly Manger. If you see in our chat anybody popping up from Twitch, that's probably Carly. She's awesome. So all the news updates, news.optimusfantasy.com. So Minshew tears his ACL. We know about that. JJ McCarthy hurts his hand. He goes out in favor of Max Brosmer. Misses the entire second half. Quinshon Judkins with the ankle dislocation, and then he breaks his fibula. Then Jordan Mason goes out, and I can't remember what the injury was off the top of my head. I did not actually put it down in the show sheet.
Just an ankle injury. That's all we know.
Ankle. Well, were you starting Jordan Mason anyway?
I mean, no. I might have considered him as a flex this week. Just the Giants' rushing defense has been terrible. So, like, if you started him this week, that's a bummer. That sort of thing. But no, you weren't trying to start Jordan Mason. If anything, it's this is something to keep in mind for Aaron Jones, that sort of thing.
Yep. Yeah, sure. Aaron Jones did a little bit today. Wasn't great. No broken bones for JJ McCarthy, though, so that's good news. MRI tomorrow, and it was indeed an ankle. Yeah, the injuries suck, but this was actually a pretty light day. So I'll take this. I mean, you're talking about players like not a lot of people were relying on JJ McCarthy. You weren't relying on Gardner Minshew. Judkins is probably the big one that hurt people. I can personally attest. So,
and I mean, Kamani Vidal, he got injured, hurt his neck. Again, it's he's kind of in that flex-ish range, so it's possible, depending on what your options were, you might have been relying on him. But again, same kind of deal where it means a bigger deal for the other guy, Omari and Hampton. Now, if he doesn't have to share that backfield, we saw this earlier in the year. He's going to get involved in the passing game as well as the running game. That's a big deal for him. That gets him up into that top 10 running back stratosphere, which is a big deal because he has not been there since he's returned from injury.
Tyler Shuck looked pretty good today. I know it's the Jets. But I mean, he was 32 of 49. He had a touchdown. That's the thing, is he is looking good every week. Like, if you're in 2 QB leagues and he's on your waiver wire still, you should be rostering him for the fantasy championship if you need a quarterback. I don't see why not. He's producing.
I mean, I think he's viable in 1 quarterback leagues at this point, at least as depending on where your guy is, in that, in that lineup, what the matchup is next week. Shuck is going to be that guy that you can probably pivot to right off the waiver wire, and you can't say that about many, if ever, quarterbacks at this point.
No, this late in the season, definitely not. The Saints otherwise, I mean, Taysom Hill had 12 carries for 42 yards. So much for Audric Estime. We should have seen that coming. Chris Olave, 10 catches for 148 yards and 2 touchdowns. Juwan Johnson had 8 catches for 89 yards. My point in this being, he's making these guys viable.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's everything you want, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and they've got Tennessee next week. Great matchup in the fantasy championship. Yeah.
Right? And the thing is, it seems like we don't have to worry about game script. Like, he threw 49 times in a game that they won 29-6. So this is not they're going to get up and, they're just going to run the ball. Like, maybe they do because they're the Saints and they haven't won enough for us to know what they do when they win. But
they don't know what to do when they win, Lou.
Right. And what do I do with my hands? I don't know. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
throwing the ball 49 times. I mean, 50 times overall if you include Taysom Hill's pass. I mean, that's great. And I mean, that right there, being able to use your Saints, Chris Olave, and Juwan Johnson in the finals, perfect.
yep.
That's go away,
That's what
Spencer
you
Rattler.
want.
I don't want to play
Yeah,
with you
right.
anymore.
He'll be a backup on this team next year. I kind of think Shucks earned a shot at starting next season, and the Benson family's cheap, so
I mean, they've got so many needs across the team. This is
Mhm.
okay. We can get by with Shuck this year. It's not going to be a playoff year. We know that, but he's enough to keep our guys engaged. That sort of thing.
Well, I think if you get the right coaches around him, he's developable to be like a Derek Carr type quarterback without the MVP season, the potential MVP season.
Right.
I
It's still
mean,
so bizarre.
that was a weird year. Amari in Hampton kind of looks like he's going to be the bell cow. I mean, even
Yep.
before Kamani Vidal got hurt, we saw a little bit of Hassan Haskins, but overall, Omarion Hampton's a guy you can trust in the championship. This is a team that now, with the Denver loss to Jacksonville, has a chance that they could be playing for the number 1 seed against Denver in Week 18.
Yeah,
Omarion
the tough
Hampton, they've
part.
got to hit. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying the tough part is they play Houston next week, and despite
Right.
what Houston is doing or did this week, I don't know if that game is finished up yet against the Raiders.
They won by 2, 23-21.
It's so gross. That should never have
That
happened.
is no.
Um, but the point being, like, this looks more like a wake up call type thing, kind of Houston. Like, D'Amico Ryan comes out. You can lose any week to any team. Nobody owes you anything. You got to earn it every week. And as beat up as the Chargers remain on that offensive line, that's tough next week. You're still going to roll out Omari and Hampton. I wish the matchup was a little bit better.
Oh, I do too. I mean, you're not going to get 16 for 85 and a touchdown on the ground. He did get 2 targets today. Maybe you see a little bit more of him in the passing game, but I think he's kind of probably a high end RB2, maybe like mid to high end RB2 next week, somewhere around there, which isn't bad. You'll take
at
that.
This point, this point of the season, like who are our high end RB2s? I don't know. I don't
know either. All right, the Cowboys. Pickens outshines Lamb again, man. This is becoming a thing here. Pickens 7 catches for 130 yards and a touchdown. Lamb has 6 catches for 51 yards. Is this going to be a thing next season too? Well, I guess that would require Pickens re-signing in Dallas. I don't know that they can afford that, but if they do, is Pickens the wide receiver 1 in this offense? I know that sounds crazy.
I mean, I don't think so. I genuinely think it's a wide receiver 1A, wide receiver 1B sort of deal. And that's kind of how they've operated this year. They've kind of gone back and forth as far as to this week I'm going to be the guy, this week you're going to be the guy. Coming into this week, we heard how they were going to focus on Pickens more, and it bore out that way.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, they get the Commanders next week, and as we all know, the Commanders' defense is terrible, absolutely wretched. I don't think you shy away from either of these guys next week. Both Pickens and Lamb could very well and probably should have top 10, possibly even top 5 wide receiver weeks.
Yeah.
And I mean, by correlation, Dak Prescott's going to be way up there in my quarterback rankings too.
Yeah, as he should be. This is a team that I think is a little bit embarrassed, and they looked at early against San Diego, against Los Angeles Chargers.
San Diego. Listen, it's the right thing to do, but it just.
For 40 of my 43 years of life, they were the San Diego Chargers. Las Vegas could go either way. Occasionally I call them Oakland. I've called them the Los Angeles Raiders a couple of times early on. If you're old enough to remember, they were in LA with the Rams for a while. That was a weird time. All right. Trevor Lawrence looked good against Denver. He's really rebounded. Like, I'm going to credit where credit's due here against a very good Denver defense. 26 of 36, 279 yards, 3 touchdowns. he had a rushing touchdown, 6 carries for 20 yards against this defense. He made Parker Washington look like an all-pro receiver, 6 catches for 145 yards and a touchdown. They made Travis Etienne look like a must-start next week, like a real live boy running back. 16 carries for 50 yards, but then he also had 4 catches for 16 yards and a touchdown against a very good Denver defense. Parker Washington had a day.
Sure
It
did.
seems like he's one of Trevor Lawrence's favorite receivers. Is he someone that you're no question firing up next week?
Not necessarily. I think a lot of it had to do, and you and I kind of talked about this earlier today on our Start Sit show. Like the Denver corners are so good that you have to have an alternate plan. I think that's kind of what we saw today, both in ATN's receiving work out of the backfield. Lawrence was hitting his checkdowns, that pass rush, everything like that, hit those checkdowns. And then with Washington, it's okay. My top 2 guys, Kobe Myers, Brian Thomas Jr., I can't really go to them. Let me go to my third guy here. And we saw that with Brenton Strange early as well. Let me go to my third, my fourth options. And the thing is, the Jaguars have a depth of options on their team that they can do things like that. And it makes it tough, a defense like Denver's where you're relying on those kind of, not that, Riley Moss is as good as Surtain, but he's a very good corner in his own right. Relying on these kind of lockdown corners to take care of these guys and your pass rush to do the rest, right? Well, when you've got other options outside of those, that makes it tough against teams like, Philadelphia, where you really only have those 2 options, and then, your backfield. It's a lot tougher to deal with. So, yeah. I mean, it's Jacksonville's the real deal this year, at least offensively. I'm not sold on them defensively, but their offense really does look like it. Liam Cohen's done a heck of a job.
No, he really has. Bijan Robinson, going to talk about this real quick. He goes over 2,000 yards from scrimmage on the season today. 7 catches for 92 yards and a touchdown. And then he had 16 carries for 76 yards. Tyler Algier, he had 16 carries for 79 yards. They ultimately win this game against Arizona. Bijan Robinson is ridiculous, man. Just in watching him run, it's starting to get like very reminiscent of watching Barry Sanders. Just the slickness, the way he moves.
He reminds me, I can't quite put my finger on it because he's so much. Sanders was so squat and so powerful through the legs, and he had that change of direction. That Bijan, he's got that jump cut, but he's not as fluid as Sanders was.
Sure.
Not as mercurial, and obviously nobody is, right? Like absolutely nobody. But yeah, Robinson, he's just got that. He's got that power and speed combination, and just that devastating jump cut that even if you're right, he can make you wrong as a defender, and it's just so rough to try and defend. And like, Arizona's not a good defense. First of all, that helps, right? But having a weapon like Bijan where you can step on another team's throat with him and say, all right, go out, do your thing. There's nothing you can do about it. Like, I watched him do it to Buffalo, too. Yeah. That's a powerful weapon, man.
Well, it allows you to have a guy like Kirk Cousins sit back in the pocket and actually be able to throw the ball.
Right.
Bijan had the 7 catches. He led the team in targets with 11, but Kyle Pitts had 9. He had 7 catches for 57 and a touchdown. London, 8 targets, but he only had 3 catches. Are you concerned about London next week in the fantasy championships?
I mean, I think you got to be, right? I'm probably still rolling him out because he's Drake freaking London. But I don't feel nearly as good about it, as I did kind of coming into this week. I mean, number one, they're not going to be playing Atlanta or Arizona. They are Atlanta. I haven't looked at who they're playing yet, but just point being that, and they play the Rams next week. So, I mean, that's its own challenge right there. So no, I'm not feeling great about Drake London next week. Like I said, I'm rolling him out if I got him. I probably don't have a better option. Like, I'm not playing one of the Kansas City guys over him. I'm not playing one of the Tennessee guys over him. I'm not playing one of the New York Jets guys over him. There's a lot just already taken out of the pool. I don't feel good about it. I'm probably chasing upside somewhere else as a result.
Is Michael Wilson one of those guys? I mean, with Marvin Harrison Jr. back today, it wasn't stellar for him. He ended up with 2 catches for 52 yards and a touchdown. So, I mean, you got 13 PPR points out of him. Marvin Harrison Jr. only had 3 targets, though, on the day. This was Elijah Higgins and Trey McBride day. Both had 8 targets. What do you make of that? So, Harrison, I don't think you can start next week. Plain and simple.
I mean, I don't think you should, but I don't necessarily think
No.
you should have been starting him anyhow.
Right. I don't think you should have either. Michael Wilson, do you think he's viable against the Rams? Or I'm sorry, against Cincinnati?
I mean, first of all, it's against Cincinnati, so yes, absolutely. Right. That's part of it. There wasn't the passing volume today that we've seen out of this offense, which is weird. Like, yes, 31 passing attempts, which is good, but that's still, I mean, Kirk Cousins passed 35 times.
Yeah, it wasn't the same type of volume at all.
No.
I mean, when you have Elijah Higgins getting 8 targets, that tells you it was a much different game.
Right, and Michael Wilson had 3. Like, that's weird with just how this offense is run, which makes me think that this game was the aberration and not like an ongoing rule. Because we've seen this offense work for, 8-10 weeks now?
Yeah.
This way? More or less. Obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr. has kind of been in and out a little bit. But we've seen Brissett run this offense now. So, yeah, it really feels like this game was the aberration, not the rule. And I don't expect their running game to do anything next week. But their passing game, I mean, probably / possibly.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be kind of a shootout. I mean, Cincinnati can score, and they're going to score on Arizona. Arizona can score, and they're going to score on Cincinnati. So this is no interest in Marvin Harrison. Like you said, you shouldn't have been starting him to begin with. I think this is Michael Wilson, Trey McBride, Jacoby Brissett are all good plays. Brissett, just the 1 touchdown this week. Strange. Mr. Automatic was less than automatic this week. But again, like you said, it was different volume. It was a different game. And they're not in the hunt for anything at all.
No.
So, all right, I'm seeing here, I need to check on the score of this Lions game. We've had some notes coming in, and I know that it just ended here. The Lions, 29-24 with a minute 24 left. Yeah, so the Lions are driving. They are within field goal range, but they need a touchdown, down by 5. So, yep, here we go. Carly just dropped it in. Lions down by 5. There we go. All right. What happened to the Lions today? I mean, regardless of how this game ends, this offense was inefficient.
This is the Ben Johnson, in my opinion, right? Obviously, there's going to be a lot of people opining on this. In my opinion, this is the Ben Johnson effect. The one thing that Ben Johnson has always been superb about, we've seen it now in Chicago this year, which is part of what's informing my opinion here, is that he is very good at designing a running game specifically, not just calling the plays and calling the runs, but how they work together and the flow of it to maximize their guys. Like, we've seen him turn Kyle Monangai into David Montgomery, and David Montgomery at his best with the Lions. Like, that's not a small feat. And I like Monangai, and he is not in the same stratosphere as David Montgomery in terms of talent. And same thing with DeAndre Swift and Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, these are not equivalent running backs in any way, shape, or form, yet they are performing at a similar level. And the difference to me is Ben Johnson. I think that is the big thing that we're seeing, is the lack of that feel and that instinct that Johnson has. And that's not taking away from anyone on the Lions. It's just showing how good Ben Johnson is at what he does.
Sure. Just for anyone who's curious, they are now inside the 20 with about 48 seconds left. The Lions are, with an opportunity to score in the red zone to win it against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, I think this is just a weird week too. This is a pretty powerful offense.
It is, but it's also, like when your car starts acting up and it kind of starts backfiring a little bit and just not feeling as smooth.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Lions have been this year, and that's where that's what we're seeing as far as this goes. Like we've had, Gibbs turned his week around this week, which great. If you survived and everything like that, awesome. But he sunk a lot of teams last week with his 6-7 points, whatever it was, and he was looking throughout most of the day today like he was going for something similar. That's a tough pill to swallow, honestly, with as talented as this Lions offense is and how we've seen them operate over the last 3-4 years.
Oh, there was an Amon-Ra touchdown, but it came back. It appears that there was offensive pass interference. So 10-yard penalty moves him back. Yeah. On the Pittsburgh side of this, I really honestly, like, I don't want to look too much into what happened with Detroit today. This is a lot of what we've seen all season. You're not going to sit Jahmyr Gibbs next week. You're not going to sit Amon-Ra. You're not going to sit Jared Goff. You're just not doing it. If you've been starting these guys, you're going to start them next weekend.
Right. And like you probably should be starting Jameson Williams. Like all the guys that you've been starting, you should probably start next week. Like Montgomery's going to be right there in that level of should I, shouldn't I? And we're going to guess, Yep. But that's just where this offense is. And it's unfortunate because they should be better than this.
Yeah, they should be. The Steelers, never surprised when their offense is bad. Over the last 3 or 4 years, it's been a mess. Since Ben Roethlisberger left, really, it's been a mess. There was hope with Aaron Rodgers, but today, Jalen Warren and Kenny Gainwell, both really, really big games. We had Jalen Warren with 14 carries for 143 yards and 2 touchdowns. Gainwell had 9 carries for 50 yards so far. There's 21 seconds left in this game. You never know what could happen. But Kenny Gainwell does it in the air. He led the team in targets. Well, he was second on the team in targets behind DK Metcalf. Leads the team in catches, 5 catches, 78 yards, and a touchdown. Kenny Gainwell,
and one of the wilder catchers, and one of the wilder catching touchdowns you'll see, especially this year.
Did they end up tossing the flag? I didn't see if they tossed the PI flag on that one. Did they?
Oh, I don't know. I only saw the after effects and everything like that. That was, great concentration on his part to stay with it and make the catch, and then obviously get up and run into the end zone. Which, a lion sitting there going, "No, I touched him. He's down." It's like, maybe make sure. Just a thought.
Right?
I got to imagine.
Come on.
I got to imagine Dan Campbell's going to have a fun time with that one.
Oh, I'm sure he was none too pleased. But those are the little mistakes that can cost you.
Against Pittsburgh, because it's Pittsburgh.
Yeah, because it's Pittsburgh. But yeah, Gainwell, I think, is reliable. I think you can reliably flex Gainwell now.
At this point, I don't see why not, right? Apparently he is Arthur. It took us to this point. He is Arthur Smith's guy this year. We thought it was going to be Jonnu Smith. It's not. It's Kenny Gainwell. Okay. Right. Weird, but okay. And again, I was talking earlier about how RB2s and that sort of thing, they're really dicey. Gainwell, roll him out there. Roll him out as your RB2. Heck, he's been performing as an RB1. Take advantage. If you have the ability, take advantage. Absolutely.
Yeah, and there's almost no chance he's not on a roster in your league at this point. So if you've got him, start him. Right. If he is somehow on the waiver wire, wow. And go get him for the fantasy championships, because you really should. We've got 8 seconds here left in this game, Lou. Pittsburgh has got the ball. I'm sorry, Detroit's got the ball. 6 seconds, 4th and goal for the Lions. So, oh boy. I know. This is what makes it fun, though. We get to the end of the season, we start to get these tighter games, and I am honestly low-key rooting for the Denver Los Angeles Chargers game to be what decides the number 1 seed. I think that just makes it more fun.
So, I don't even know if Buffalo can get it at this point, but I just, whatever can happen for Buffalo to get better and have a better shot, I'm all for it. But yeah, the AFC is a lot more wide open this year than it has been in years past, just due to the good quarterbacks not being on good teams this year.
Yeah,
Like the
which is
Bills are
crazy.
clearly not a good team. Like Josh Allen is a great quarterback. His team is really not good, clearly. Lamar Jackson is a great quarterback who's not right, and his team is clearly not good. Patrick Mahomes is sitting home rehabbing all offseason.
Right.
It's,
Oh,
and
man.
like this is the year for something different to come out of the AFC.
Well, we've got Brady Cook starting for the Jets. That's the world
I
we
mean,
live in.
Brady Cook starting for the Jets, Quinn Ewers starting for the Dolphins. I mean, remember when it was a Tua or Herbert? Remember when those were conversations? Last year?
No.
It was just 2024 when people were having that debate.
I saw a post, I believe it was on Blue Sky, somebody unstitching the Tua nameplate from the back of their Dolphins jersey, basically saying, we'll figure out who's next and I'll put a new nameplate on for whoever wears this number next. Yeah. Well, you've seen the guy with the Browns jersey. Have you ever seen that on socials?
Oh, yeah.
With the name
It
of
just keeps
every
getting
starting
better.
quarterback since 99.
It
It's
just
beautiful.
keeps getting better every year.
There's a guy around Denver who does it with blue Sharpie on the back of a Tebow jersey. Started as a Tebow jersey, and he's got every single start, which hopefully we can just stick with Knicks for a while, please. That sounds
Right?
much preferable to me. Yeah. Yeah. All right, folks, we're going to let you get out of here. Catch the end of this game. Have a good weekend. Make sure you tune in tonight. We've got a great Sunday night game. Is it great, though, Lou? Is it going to be good?
I don't even know who it is. How bad is that?
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. We've got 49ers Colts tomorrow.
Baltimore? Who is it?
Baltimore
playing
that's
Sunday,
right?
right?
Yeah, we've
New
got
England. Baltimore, New England.
Baltimore, New England. Baltimore, New England. Hold on. Apparently, no touchdown. Offensive pass interference. This in the Lions game. Wow. It's over.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah. Steelers win.
And that does it for the Lions, right? Like they're done with the playoffs after that?
I do believe I'm going to the standings here. The Lions I do believe they're now mathematically eliminated from the playoffs at 8-7. I do not think they have a chance of making it in as a wild card. So
need a miracle. It's like not mathematically eliminated, but effectively eliminated.
Yeah.
And like 17 ties over the next 2 weeks.
Oh man. What a weird week. I mean, Vegas keeping up with Houston, just odd stuff all over the place. It's only going to get weirder because this is only week 16. So have two
Buffalo
more weeks. Hopefully,
Rocket Sanders looking great against Buffalo. I mean, talk about weird, man. Did not see that one coming.
No, we had Chase Brown Day in Cincinnati. Like just a lot of it's only going to get weirder because week 17 and week 18 get strange, man. Hopefully you don't have to play in week 18 in your fantasy leagues. That's just cruel and unusual punishment. I don't know why managers do that. I was in one that did it we did a combined week 17, week 18 for a while. And if you're a commissioner and you're listening to this, please God, don't do that to your people, to your managers. It's not fair. But if you're
we know better, do better.
I know. Folks, if you are watching the replay here on YouTube or you're listening to the audio version and you've got questions for us, please shoot them over to our Discord server. The link is in the show description. We're there 24/7, 365. Whether it's fantasy season or the fantasy off season, we're there to help you win or get prepped for the next one because we've got a lot coming up when the season's over, Lou. We've got college all-star games. We've got the combine. We've got the draft. We roll into OTA, so make sure you don't miss out on any of that news, any of that chatter. Also, make sure you are following news at optimusfantasy.com, at news.optimusfantasy.com on Blue Sky.
Yeah, and we know this. Yeah, and this week, we know it's a weird week with the holiday and everything like that. Christmas coming up. Obviously, games all over the place. So make sure you're keeping up with us on Blue Sky, Twitter, whatever your social media platform is. We'll keep you up to date as far as how our shows are changing, how our articles are changing. We're going to make sure that we have everything out for you before the games get kicked off. So that way you can enjoy the games, enjoy your holidays, and just relax and celebrate however you want to celebrate or not.
Yeah, exactly. As for next week, there will be no waiver wire show on Monday. You're going with the players you've got. There's nobody left out there that's worth picking up. So we trust that you have made good decisions listening to us all season long. Casey and I will be live on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A little quiet before the storm of family getting into town for both of us and the craziness of the holidays. But then I will be back on Friday with Keith Fleming for Friday Vibes. We've got 2 more episodes left in the season, and we're going to make the most of them since we've missed a couple of weeks here. Life gets in the way. And then next weekend, one more start sit show to help you guys get through it. We're looking forward to it. So hopefully you got through this week unscathed. You're heading into the championships, and we'll be here next week to help you all out. Head on over to optimusfantasy.com. We will have our higher and lower article live on Wednesday ahead of Christmas to make sure that if you've got any waivers that you need to set, you can get those done. Bears and 49ers do clinch the playoffs with that Lions loss, so that makes things interesting. All right, folks, if we don't see you before, happy holidays. Thanks for riding with us all season. Good luck the rest of the way. We hope you get what you need out of these last 2 games this weekend so you can come out victorious. For Lee Brunson, I'm Nate Polvogt. I'll see you on Tuesday.